Hi boys and girls. So today we're going to be creating a Notan heart, and that is actually a paper cutting term for the art we're going to be creating. You're going to get to pick whatever color you want to go along with either you're going to have black or white as one of your colors, and then you get to pick another color. So let's say I pick this really light pink. White would probably not be a good contrasting color for that. So if you pick a light color, then you should use black with that color. If you pick a darker color, this darker pink, white would actually complement that well. See how different they are? But these two, light and light, not a good choice, okay? So light ones go with dark ones, dark color goes with a light one, okay? I'm going to set these aside and just use these for today. So the first thing you're going to do is basically you have to decide which color is going to be your background color and which color is going to be are you going to cut the heart out of. I'm going to leave the black as my background, and I'm going to use the pink for my foreground color, okay? So I'm going to fold this in half, and actually I should probably, since I'm going to keep this one, I'm going to put my name on the back, so Mrs. Walker, and then your class code. Be sure you put your class code underneath it and circle it. And then on the folded paper, you need to cut out a heart, and you want to use most of this paper. I have some tracers if you want, because you're going to cut out half, you're going to trace half of a heart on here if you want to. Otherwise you can just draw your own heart. Oops, I got it right off the line. All right, and then we're going to cut that. The fun thing about this is you're going to end up with two, and you really only need one of these, okay? So when I did it on the fold, which if you do it on the fold, that's fine. You're just going to cut right along that fold line because you only need half of this. The beauty of this, though, is if you mess up with one, you can always do it again with the other half. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to cut this in half as well. If you do this not on the fold line, you won't have to do this. Yours will just automatically be two separate pieces. So our goal here is one of these we're going to use here, and this is going to be here, okay? But I'm not going to glue this piece down yet, okay? First I'm going to do this. I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to cut out some pieces from here. The only side that you can cut from is this middle line, okay? So I'm not going to put any shapes around here. I'm just going to go from the center, and I'm going to draw in some kind of interesting shapes, but then I got to make sure I come right back out here, okay? I'm going to go in with my scissors. This is where I'm going to cut. Then I'm going to go up, over, just to make some shapes that you think would be easy for you to cut out. So you're going in and cutting out and coming back out, okay? I'm going to go in again, around. I'm going to make this one a loop, and then I'm just going to make kind of a twirly thing here. Okay, now I'm ready to start cutting. I'm going to cut each one of these shapes out, and this is probably the trickiest part here, is trying to stay right on these lines that I've drawn, because it's way easier to draw a line than to cut that line. The closer you stay to your lines, the neater this is going to look. Alright, there's one. Now if you make your shapes very similar, you're going to make this pretty hard to figure out. So when you draw these shapes, make sure none of them look like each other. Don't just do a bunch of zigzags or triangles that look exactly the same. Go in and make a different shape for each one. Okay, once you have your shapes cut out, you're going to glue this down. I noticed, before I glue it down, I'm going to actually clean this up a little bit. I noticed I can still see a few pencil lines here, so I'm going to erase those really quick before I glue it down, because I don't want to be able to see those when I'm done, okay? Now, if you can't remember, like if you don't know how far over to put this, it's very important that you put it right on the midline. So fold your background paper in half now, and then when you glue this down, line it up with that fold line, okay? I'm going to put my glue on here, and then I'm going to make sure that it gets lined up with the fold. And when you put glue on, if you're doing a good job of gluing, you're going to make sure that you go all around into every single space so that all of it sticks down, okay, not just in one spot. And line it up with your fold line as close as you can. And there we go. Give it a minute, press it down for a minute, give it a little bit of time to adhere. Okay, now I'm ready to do my pieces. So here's how you do this. Put your pieces back in their place. Okay, I'm going to just kind of put them in like it's a puzzle. I'm going to fit them right back into their spots. There and there. Okay, now that's the side I want the glue on. So I'm going to put glue right on this one and then flip it over. I'm going to line it up with that middle line and those two corners and lay it down. Okay, next one, glue. And you can even use your glue to pick it up. Watch. I can pick it up, flip it over, and then I'm going to line it up right here with the open space and glue it down. Okay, next, glue, flip it, and lay it down. So I should have the mirror image, right? If I'm doing this correctly, it's a mirror image of my shape. All right, now that I've got this done, I'm ready to add the last piece. Remember, we set aside this piece. We're now going to glue this down right here. Ooh, and mine's going to be a little bit lower. If you look, it's not going to match up exactly with the top of my paper, but it's more important that I match it up with this and this. So maybe when I was putting, I probably should have set this in here, when I was trying to figure out where to put this half, I probably should have laid this down so I could get it the right height. Okay, but since I didn't, I'm just going to glue this down a little bit lower, and maybe I'll trim off that top edge. Okay, so flip it over, make sure you glue all the way around the outside. Okay, and then line that one up with the top edge of your heart, the middle fold line, and the bottom edge of your heart and the middle fold line. And then press. Okay. All right. And like I said, since mine isn't exactly lining up, I might actually just trim this a little bit up here so that it looks like a smooth line. And then I might just do that here. See how this one hangs over just a little bit? I might get rid of that. All right. Once you have finished your Notan heart, you're going to want to take a picture of this, put it in your Artsonia portfolio.